Let's talk about how to choose a great business name because guess what? This is something you're going to be saying all the time, many times a day, every day, right? So you have to get a good business name. Now, first, let's make a distinction. You actually will have two business names. There is the business name that you register when you register a company. Um, your customers will never see that. It's something like official. You register your company as blah 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 with the state, so that you get like liability protection, whatever. It depends on what country you're in. Sometimes there are different rules, but in United States, when you register a business entity, you have to give it a name, and like you get checks through that name or you get payments through that name, but your customers don't know you by that name. They know you by your brand name, like maybe whatever your you tell your business name is, right? And you make that name up, and how you make that name up is how you want your branding to be, right? So your business name that your customers see is a part of your branding. Okay. Um, so how do you choose a good brand name, right? So essentially, the business name that many companies buy, that's their brand name, really. That's not their registered business name, which is just fine. It's a totally okay thing to do. And you will do the same thing. So the brand name, right? The name by which your customers will know you, how to make it better, okay? How to make it good. First, you got to make it memorable because they have to remember you, right? You have to make it stand out because if they hear about you once, they might not pay attention too much. But if they hear that memorable brand name again and again and again, they might give it a try at some point, maybe second, third, 10th time. But then they'll be like, oh, okay, maybe I should give it a try now. So, but if they don't remember that they heard it the first and second time, then every time will be like the first time, and the first time is usually they're like ignore it. There are studies that show that it takes people up to 7 times of brand sort of notice to actually engage with the brand, right? 7 times studies show. So your name should be also easy to spell and say actually pronounce because you'll be saying it a lot and you don't want to stumble when you say it. So practice saying it. You also want to look into trademarks, existing trademarks, to see if you're not imposing on another existing trademark. And if you don't know how to do that, I actually have a Udemy course on how to check for trademarks. You can find the discount to that course in the very last lecture of this course. It's a basic course, but it really shows you how to find trademarks that exist so that you can confidently know that you're not encroaching on another trademark, and you don't have to spend money hiring a lawyer to explain this to you. So getting the course is pretty good, cheap option. Also, your brand name should be relatively short because you'll be writing it a lot, saying it a lot. People have to remember it. Um, and often people like to do an alliteration. For example, Donald Trump uses this often, right? The Trump Tower, right? See, TT. So he's got like Trump Tower, so TTT. So what that does, it is kind of subconsciously, it makes it fun for people to say. And when it makes it fun for people to say, and when it's fun for people to say, they'll say it more often, and it kind of makes them feel better. I don't know. I actually myself don't like this. Like I never like to pronounce these things, but these catchy things. But I know that a lot of brand people, they really focus on alliterations because for most consumers it works, even though for me as a consumer it doesn't. But for most other people it does work. So yeah. Uh, Also, when you pick your business name, you don't want to be too specific. Okay. I mean, if you are like a lawn care company, it's okay to name your company like Bob's Lawn Care Company. It's fine. But then again, um, what if you expand into gardening, or let's say instead of lawn, you start doing like home repair? I don't know. Well, people will get confused. Are you, they will say, hey, so it says on your name, you're like a lawn care company. Why are you doing home repair, right? Or home cleaning. So you want to be a little bit abstract sometimes if you feel like you're there's a chance you might change business direction a little bit in the future, and you can never really predict that. What's going to happen in the future, what you might decide. So you want to be a little bit abstract in your name choosing, so that even if you change some parts of the business strategy, your name still makes sense, right? And same for your website domain, because you don't want to be changing that every time you change business strategy. It will just get people confused and waste your time as well. What not to do when choosing a business name? Don't do like copycat names like Facebook's. You can make not Facebook but Face Friend, Facebook Friend. These don't sound right, and the company may actually, if they have a trademark, they might like sue you and get you to close or change your name. And really, it doesn't look that great. And yeah, it, it's just not a great way to go. You want to be a unique company on your own. Um, and also, for the most part, when you're naming your company, stay away from numbers, punctuations, hyphens, things like that, because those things just confuse things when you don't see them written, and then you have to explain, oh, one is in number one, not the word one or whatever. So you don't want to be doing that. Clear, memorable, sharp, and that's it. And something that represents your brand name, but not too specifically. Your overall branding, your overall what you do, but not too specifically.